Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and the Bloomburrow Early Access event is here. Thanks to this early access account provided to me by Wizards of the Coast, we'll be diving headfirst into the new format with a draft video every day till the set's full arena release next Tuesday. So without further ado, let's just head into my very first draft of the cutest format ever printed. Alright, and here we are for our pack 1 pick 1. We got a 2 rare pack to start it off, and we got 2 sweet options. We have the Hearthborn Battler, a 3-mana 2/3 haste lizard warlock, and creature types are very relevant in this format. It's got the ability where whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, it deals 2 to target opponents. So whether you cast 2 spells in one turn or your opponent casts 2 spells in one turn. So just a great aggressive card that spits some extra damage in your opponent's face. Pretty nice, and the lizard mechanic in the format wants you to have dealt damage to your opponent to get some other benefits. Our other rare is a token producing rare, so if you have a deck that makes a lot of tokens, which is what the rabbit decks want to do, then that can give you some extra card draw, maybe some duplicate tokens later. But I think I would like to try to keep things pretty simple for our first draft, see if we can just go full aggro with this Hearthborn Battler. Also, I am very much a red player at heart. Pick 2, we don't have a great follow-up to that. Looks like no great aggressive black or red cards, black and red being the 2 lizard colors in the format to go with the Battler. But what we do have is a Storm Chaser's Talent rare. This is a 1-mana 1/1 with Prowess. It's an otter, the blue-red creature type for the format. We can level this up to return an instant or sorcery from our grave to our hand. And then if we get it to level 3, then every time we cast an instant or sorcery, we're spitting out another otter. So potentially get to go into blue-red otters, which is also going to be a blue-red spells deck. So one of the really cool things they've done for this typal set is that not only do we have creature type focused decks, where like if you're in blue-red, you're probably going to have some cards that will buff all your otters or make them better or something, but each creature type also has its own mechanical identity. So you don't necessarily need to play a deck that is nothing but otters, because all your otters also get benefits by casting non-creature spells. You don't need to play a deck that's all lizards if you're red-black, because you can also just use abilities that are going to gain advantage by dealing damage to your opponent. With squirrels, you can have cards that buff your squirrels, or cards that care about sacrificing your food tokens with the forage mechanic. So each kind of creature type has cards that can like buff each other, help the other creatures of the same type out, but also cards that care about their own unique 2-color mechanic, which is pretty sweet. So just to keep things simple, again, there are really powerful cards in all these packs, and I am sure as the format progresses, I will know what is powerful enough to pivot off of certain colors and everything, but I'm going to try to stay just pretty streamlined here. Just grab a bunch of powerful rares and stick to those colors. So we're going to head straight into blue-red otters here. Blue-red non-creature spells, try to cast a bunch of stuff like that with our Coruscation Mage. I have no idea what that word is, but this shows off another cool mechanic for the format. The Offspring ability allows you to spend that additional mana cost to get a 1/1 token of it as well. So you can get 2 bodies off of this one card, and they both have that ability, so you can get double pings as you're casting your spells, which is pretty sweet. Pick 4. We've got a lot of on-color stuff here. Harnesser of Storms is pretty sweet. This looks exactly like the otter from Guardians of the Galaxy, which is pretty adorable. The one that Raccoon was with when he was like a kid. So 3-mana 1/4. Whenever you cast a non-creature or otter, exile the top card of your library, you can play that card until the end of your turn. Only triggers once per turn, but that's still some good card draw. I like that a lot. There's also a flexible counter spell here. There's another class. Let's make some unblockable stuff, and there's a flickering Skyskipper duo. But let's stick to our otter non-creature spell nonsense. Pick 5, here's another otter. 4-mana 4/2, when it enters, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. So, with this, you can tap out for it and then still play the card the turn after you play that. It's also pretty good card draw. The one awkward thing about starting with a lot of these abilities in a blue-red deck is that if we exile a counterspell to Alania's Pathmaker, or we exile a counterspell to Harnesser of Storms, that's going to be pretty bad. So we're like a blue-red deck that doesn't want to draft any of these counterspells, like this Dazzling Denial thing. All right, pick number 6. There's another Pathmaker. I mean, I guess we don't have to be that tied to blue yet. If I've taken this many red cards, maybe we can pivot back towards Lizard aggro with this Battler thing. If there's good black stuff, there is a black rare. Target opponent reveals their hand, choose an on-land card from it, exile that card. If the gift was promised, so if you let your opponent draw a card with this gift a card mechanic, then you get to cast their card against them. Interesting, but you have to choose to let your opponent draw the card or not before you see what you're going to be exiling out of their hand. That's interesting. I think I'm just going to stick to red and take another Pathmaker here, because that seems a little high variance for my tastes. And we're doing a great, we're having a great time just in mono red right now, because now we got a pick 7 removal spell. 2 mana, 3 damage to a creature planeswalker. Love the name on this as well. Take out the trash. Gets better if you have raccoons, because they are the trash pandas, of course. Yeah, let's take out the trash. All right, pick number 8. A lot of blue spells here. Hopefully they're decent ones. 3 mana, 3/2. When it attacks, if another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gains flying till end of turn. Okay, as long as you're playing creatures, you're getting flying swings in with this thing. That's really nice with the frog mechanic in the set. Frogs are about bouncing your stuff, bouncing them back to your hand, or bouncing them by like flickering them and putting them back on board. So you get a lot of enter the battlefield effects in frog decks. That's pretty cute. I'm just going to take the flyer here with the water spout warden. And now we can go ahead and take the raccoon rallier. 2 mana, 2/2. Tap it to give a creature you control haste. Seems like a decent ability for an aggressive deck, and we're certainly aggressive. This also plays really well with the mice mechanic in the set. There's the Valiant mechanic, which is whenever the creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, you can give it a little buff. So when you give your creature haste, you're also giving it like a Valiant buff, which is cool. These uncommon lands seem decent. They are colorless mana for non-creature spells, which is a bit rough, but they get some extra flexibility when you're playing creatures of the certain color, creatures of the main creature types for that color. That is a pick 11 premium squirrel uncommon, so that could be like a full pivot onto a squirrel deck if I were more comfortable and familiar with the format, but I'm literally still reading most of the cards. So we're sticking to otters here for the early access event. Pack 2, pick number 1. Well, are we sticking to otters that badly? Because Warsqueak doesn't look super high impact. The Spellgeyer looks decent, and I guess the nice thing about this is if we do exile it off of one of our until end of turn cards, we can still cast the Surveil 2, Draw 2 half, so it's a counterspell that doesn't get just deleted by our exile cards. So that's nice, but Mabel seems like a very strong mice build around. 3 mana, 3/3, legend, gives all your other mice +1/+1, and creates this equipment you can start equipping to your stuff, and whenever you equip an equipment to something with the Valiant ability, like the Veteran Guard Mouse here, you are triggering that Valiant ability because it is becoming the target of your equip ability. So Mabel seems really good for red-white, but I'm just going to stick to the blue-red otters and be just really, really lazy with this one so we can get a simple deck for our first time around. This looks pretty good. 2 mana, instant, deal 2 to a creature, or you can give your opponent a treasure token to deal 2 to a creature and 3 to the owner of that creature, which is pretty sweet. Pearl of Wisdom might be awesome in this deck, though. If you have a lot of otters, this is just 2 mana to draw 2. What does the Wishing Well even do? Put a coin counter on it. When you do, you may cast an instant or sorcery card with mana value equal to the number of coin counters from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. That seems very slow. So the first time you do it, probably nothing. The second time you might get a 2 mana removal spell. It has to be equal. If it were equal or less than the number of counters on it, I'd probably take that. But because it has to be exactly the right mana value, it's going to be a bit narrow. So pick 3, we do get an otter rare, which is probably perfect. 5 mana, 3/5, not the best stat line, but whenever you cast a spell, if it's the first instant, sorcery, or otter, other than Alania that you've cast this turn, you can have an opponent draw a card. If you do, copy the spell, choose new targets for it. Yeah, it's fine. Letting your opponent draw cards to do it is definitely a downside, but like if you're casting a 4-drop like a Pathmaker, getting 2 4/2s for 4 mana is kind of massive, so probably pretty worth it. I'll grab Alania here. Playful Shove, 2 mana sorcery, 1 to any target, draw a card. Sorcery is a pretty big downside. This would be a pretty solid instant. Sorcery, though, not super sure on that one. We do have at least one other lizard already for this Reptilian Recruiter. 5 mana 4/2 trample. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature. Gain control of it if it has power 2 or less until end of turn. You untap it and haste it. Or if you control a lizard, you can steal any creature till end of turn and slap your opponent with it. I think Recruiter's probably a tiny bit better than Playful Shove. Just because, again, not being an instant does get rid of a lot of the flexibility on that card. Can't use it like after blocks or anything like that. Little aggro lizard here, absolutely adorable. Nothing great looking here. Slightly more narrow on summon, but it adds some extra flexibility to make up for it. I'm just going to grab this charger thing. Spellgeyer is back. It looks great. Well, this is pick 6, so we didn't wheel it, but it still looks great. What is Splash Portal? Exile a creature you control, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it was a bird, frog, otter, or rat, draw a card. That's cute. That's pretty good with our otter enter the battlefield effect and stuff, but I'm going to grab this nice big counterspell or draw spell. Pick number 7, we've got the Conduct Electricity for a big removal spell. Kind of high mana value, but could be better than another 2-drop right now. Because we want a pretty high non-creature count with just otter mechanics in general, it looks like. Yeah, I'll grab this big expensive removal spell here. Pick number 8. 2 mana enchantment, Hoarder's Overflow. When it enters the battlefield and when you expend 4, so that's when you spend 4 mana in one turn, you put a stash counter on it. Spend 2 mana, stack it, discard your hand, draw cards equal to the stash counters on it. So pretty easy to draw 2 off of it later. I think I'd rather just spend 2 mana to draw 2, though, off of Pearl of Wisdom. But if the game goes really long and you manage to just keep that there for a long time, you could draw a lot, I suppose. Grab this Lily Pad Village. Pick 10. This thing seems fine. 2 mana, put any basic land in your hand. A little bit of fixing. Seems like a good Valiant enabler for mice decks. Which we are not, but we're getting to the last few picks of the pack, so they're not going to be completely ideal for our deck. Skyskipper Duo might be fine. I don't think I can run this many 5-mana creatures, but not the worst card ever. Alright, pack 3, pick 1. Seems fine. Another Take Out the Trash seems very good for us. I probably am supposed to just take this, but I also think Fountain Port looks pretty busted for almost any deck. It's just really good flexibility. Get little fish chump blockers when you have nothing else to do, or you can stash a bunch of mana for later with those treasure tokens. You can start sacking those treasure tokens to draw cards. This is just a really good mana sink you can shove into any deck. If you ever run out of stuff to do, it makes sure you've got something. I'm going to take the Fountain Port here over that very solid cheap removal. Rat Rogue, 2 mana, 1/3 Vigilance, the Azure Beastbinder. Can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or greater. Whenever it attacks, up to 1 artifact creature planeswalker opponent controls loses all abilities till your next turn. And if it's a creature, it's a 2/2 till your next turn. Seems pretty solid, actually. Okay, that's a frog. That is, yeah, very frog typal card there. 2 mana, 2/1 Flash Flyer gives something hexproof on ETB? Jesus. That's efficient. It's also another Harnesser, though. I'm just gonna go full otters here. There are some really strong cards in the format. This is gonna be a sweet one. Dire Downdraft seems like a solid interaction. Also Uncharted Haven's fine fixing. But I'm just 2 colors here. We'll grab the Downdraft. Pick 4. No otters? No otters. Whenever a creature control attacks, surveil. You can make your attack and creature's power 3 or less unblockable. Whenever you deal combat to your player, you can exile it, then put it back on the board. That seems like way too much mana if you don't have a pretty specific deck for it. It's got a lot of good, like, deal combat damage abilities and enter the battlefield abilities and stuff like that. This pack seems really bad for us. Just grab a scribe thing, I guess. Pick 5, another take out the trash. Beautiful. This pack is not bad for us at all. Grab that. We are passing up on a rat otter, but that's fine. Mind Spiral seems fine. We care about non-creature spells quite a bit. Here's just a big draw spell. If we're under a ton of pressure, we can stun a big creature on our opponent's board by giving them a 1/1 fish. So if we like really don't have time to just tap out and draw 3, then at least we can stun the biggest attacker for a moment. Another Reptilian Recruiter, but I think we have to take this Assault for more removal. 4 to a creature and you can exile it. Also gives us 1 piece of main deckable artifact removal. Randomly might be relevant. Flame Cash Gecko. 2 mana 2/2. When it enters, if an opponent lost life this turn, add black-red. It immediately pays for itself if you shot your opponent. That seems awesome for Rakdos aggro. But even just aggressive red decks, a red and a generic is what you cast to pay it. Or to play it, sorry. This seems pretty slow, but could be good later. This seems nasty. The Plume Creed Mentor. Another Dire Downdraft. Join the party. Let's throw some stuff in the sideboard. And let's spend a little bit figuring out how to get this kind of blue-red spells deck to really tick for us in the deck building. Okay, so we have 2 copies of the Harnesser of Storms here. We also have an Alania here. So we have some pretty major payoffs for casting a lot of non-creature spells or just running a lot of non-creature spells in the deck. Another thing to consider is the double Pathmaker alongside the double Harnesser. So we have a lot of cards that are exiling cards from the top and allowing us to cast them temporarily. So the more narrow our cards are, the worse they're going to be. We need a lot of cards in our deck that are going to be decent draws and decent plays at almost any point of the game, because we're going to have to play them the second that we see them out of exile. We can't just draw them and have them sit in our hand if we get them off of any of these exile abilities. So we try to make sure that a lot of what we're running is, of course, non-creature spells, but also a lot of not particularly narrow ones that'll be impactful almost all the time. They do at least something. So as good as I think Dire Downdraft looks in general, it's a little narrow with all these exile abilities. It can still hit tapped creatures, but the hitting attacking creatures part is not going to do much, and the instant speed part is not going to be super helpful, so that's a potential cut. 5 drops as well get a little bit worse with all these ways to exile a card and play it off the top, so I'm going to put these also in the maybe stack. I do still think the Spellgyre flexibility is really nice, and the fact that it has 2 otters on the artwork, I mean, come on, obviously you have to play it. Adds to your typal abilities. We've got a Gate Assault here. That definitely stays in. Pearl of Wisdom can be 2 mana a lot. That definitely stays in. This is removal for a deck that wants a lot of food. This looks like a squirrel removal spell. Or just like, you're in any deck and didn't get enough removal. This is your last ditch effort there. Take out the trashes, certainly stay in. Playful Shove stays in. It's a cheap non-creature spell. We can always cast it even if there's not a great target. Blooming Blast definitely stays in. Fountain Port Bell I'm not super into. And Storm Chaser's Talent adds to the creature count. That definitely stays in. So these are all the cards that could get cut. But we also have way more creatures than I think we need in this kind of deck. We're at 17 creatures, but we're a deck that wants a pretty high non-creature count to trigger this kind of stuff. So let's find our most mediocre, non-synergistic creatures here. Definitely not the Coruscation Mage. I like the Flame Cash Gecko a lot too. Rallier's pretty good with like double Pathmaker. Giving these haste on turn 4 seems sweet, but that's really the only really good ability for them. Of everything I've seen so far, that'd be the first potential cut. Steam Path Chargers maybe as well. Whenever this becomes the target of a spell or ability for the first time each turn, you can discard a card, draw a card. That seems pretty bad. 2 mana, 2/2. We're not targeting our own cards with spells or abilities that often at all in the first place. And even when we do, this is not much of a payoff. Yeah, it's probably the first like definite cut. This is an Otter, which is good with the Pearl of Wisdom, which is good with the Harnesser of Storms, which is good with the Alania. It is a 2 mana 2/1 with no other abilities, but it's an Otter. I think I'll keep it in for now. We are going to run a lower creature count, so that makes the Waterspout Warden a little worse when it's not going to see creatures entering the battlefield as often. Brambleguard Captain, we don't really care about the Valiant triggers off of it, and we're not going to be buffing it up to get extra +X's. So not really for our deck. The Sky Skipper duos. We can flicker Alania's Pathmaker. That's our only really good enter the battlefield effect to re-up. But turn 4 Pathmaker into turn 5 Sky Skipper duo is kind of the dream curve. It's just pretty bad without that exact like 2-card combo, right? There's pretty few other enter the battlefield effects. Like I guess maybe I can get a 2 mana off this. Does Offspring trigger when it enters the battlefield or when you cast it? Okay, you can spend an additional 2 as you cast this spell. So we can't like flicker a Coruscation Mage and make more Offspring or anything like that. So yeah, I think again, pretty good with the double Pathmaker, but not super relevant otherwise. Put that in the potential cut pile. And our lizard count has turned to like 3 here for this recruiter. And I want kind of a pretty low curve here so we can try to double spell with Battler a lot, and we can cast spells more easily off the exile triggers. So maybe cut that as a 5-drop. All right, we're cutting 9 cards out of our big stack of nonsense. Let's cut the mice immediately. 7 more cards to go. I guess a simple way to do this would be like, what do I feel like I'm really missing on? That would be pretty nice in the deck. We can try to focus up on just all of the exile card draw between these 4 cards. So we might probably not need to just draw 3 Mind Spiral. The Share Pod is also just like insta cut. I don't think we need fixing with the Fountain Port Bell. 4 cards back in. That means we can put the downdrafts in for more interaction, and if our opponent has a tapped card, we can still cast that for 3 off of any of these exiles. Electricity, again, 5 mana, a bit much, but I think I want to put another non-creature in before any more creatures here. And then we only need to cut 4 more cards, so we get to put 2 creatures back in. Don't think the Warden is going back in. I like the flexibility of the Offspring mechanic quite a bit, where we can play this at 2 on the curve or 4 on the curve. I'm going to go with the Charger there. And we can try the big Recruiter then. Drop these. And that's the 40-card deck. Alright. Again, I'm not super confident in this build or anything. Or, I mean, definitely not in how we drafted. I just forced Otters. It's what it is. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting format. At least this archetype is going to be really interesting to build. figuring out the exact kind of ratios you want with creatures and non-creatures and all that. This is 11 creature deck. Obviously a little low for your average deck, but for like a double harnesser, Alania style pile. And we're more like 12 creatures because the Storm Chaser's talent certainly counts as a creature. So 1-drop, 1/1 prowess. And that prowess is going to be hitting with all these other spells. Yeah, deck looks sweet to me. We're on 16 red cards and 7 blue, though, so we need to consider changing our mana base from an 8-8 split to a 10-7. We do have 2 copies of Spellgyre that need double blue, but that's still quite weighted towards red. So let's make that swap here, go 9, 7. And we will call it a deck here. All right, here we are for game 1, my very first game of the Bloomburrow format. We've got double Take Out the Trash and a Negate Assault for their early threats, so we can protect ourselves and then play Pathmaker to try to get ahead in card advantage. This looks like a super solid hand, and if we ever run out of stuff to do in the late game, we have that Fountain Port to take over the game. And as you can tell, usually I do turn the game audio off, not all the game audio, but the music off for my videos, but I wanted to keep it on a little quiet in the background so we can hear some of the Bloomburrow music whenever I shut up. Alright, so our opponent starts with Valley Mightcaller. 1 mana, 1/1 trample. Whenever another frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel enters, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So that's basically all the creature types. All of the main typal creature types in green in this format, and they are a squirrel-colored deck. So I expect a lot of squirrels to buff that up. We're probably going to take out the trash. Yeah, let's just do it here while they're tapped out. I guess I could wait till that resolves so that the fact that they don't have a Mightcaller doesn't impact their decisions here at all, but I doubt it would anyway. Okay. Now we're just holding up Take Out the Trash again. Yeah, and I can't actually do anything with Fountain Port playing it right now. I don't have a creature to sack. I guess I could still play it just in case my opponent gifts me a fish off of something random. Then I could sack the fish token to draw a card. Ooh. Wow, they've already got the 3 cards in grave, so this is just straight up 3 mana, exile 3 cards from grave, draw a card. Oh, it's 4 mana. Never mind. Still pretty good. Still pretty dang good. It's also out of reach of our Take Out the Trash, which is rough. Alright. Have to just drop Pathmaker here, I think. Hopefully finding another island towards these Spellgyres. Perfect. We'll play that island next turn for sure. This is a fight spell, right? Ooh, no, it's just straight up deal damage? Wow, this is very good. 2 mana, so it's like Stump Stomp. 2 mana, your best creature deals damage equal to its power to something else. And then you just keep leveling it up, get some trample swings, and maybe start drawing some cards. Seems great. So they've got a Mana Dork and a 2/4, and that is it right now. I just take 3 damage on board. If I pass turn here and then they just level this up, that's not going to go super well for me, but part of what seems pretty good about these Spellgyres is that if my opponent does do that and they end up not casting something, I can still Surveil 2 and draw 2. So I have a built-in backup plan on my counter spells for if there is nothing that needs to get countered yet. Plus I'm a Fountain Port deck, so I can just make a fish or a treasure too. Alright, when it enters or dies, get a food, and that works with the forage mechanic that you see on treetop sentries. So to forage, they sack a food or exile 3 from grave. So that seems like pretty good value overall. But I can still take out the trash and just counter whatever they're going to try to forage with. Glarb. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You can play lands and cast spells with mana value 4 or greater from the top, and they can surveil into the lands and the spells. That seems very powerful, and I will go ahead and counter that. Okay, and now I even have the mana to take out the trash on this Mentor while still holding up another Spellgyre. I will be taking another 3 damage. Maybe 4 if they level up the Hunter's Talent. When do they draw the card on this? Beginning of their end step. So they might just level it up twice, try to attack with the Mentor to make it 4 power, and then draw the card. But I'm going to kill the Mentor, so they're not going to have a 4 power creature. Boom. So we wait till they attack so that we get that trigger to go onto the Mentor, so we stop the extra Hunter's Talent damage as well. And then we go ahead and surveil 2, draw 2. Or, you know, make a fish doesn't seem horrible. So I get to keep a counterspell. Yeah, get a fish. Alright, Playful Shove. And here's part of where being a sorcery's pretty dang bad. If it were instant, I could try to stack it up with one of these. Block plus use that later. Can play the Mascot, still have Spellgyre up. I'm probably playing way more controlling and defensively than I need to here. I don't know, we'll see. I just really don't want them to resolve a power 4 creature and start drawing a bunch of cards off Hunter's Talent, so I don't want to tap out of having a way to kill a 4 power creature here. Okay, there we go. This one's sorcery, right? Yeah, this is sorcery speed. So, like, if I let that resolve... Well, it's also 2 high toughness. It's 5 toughness against the 4 damage thing. I guess I could double up these 2. Kill a 5 toughness card. Alright. Down to 9. Cool, cool, cool. Conduct electricity. Beautiful. Beautiful draw. Double block the Root Weaver still, or I just send in. Deal 3, take 1 more. I think I can do this here. Stop that 3 damage. Could have went for Assault during our turn to play around any top deck combat trick kind of stuff. Ooh. Okay, well we get to exile Glarb with the Assault. And Glarb's not going to be 4 power, so that's not bad. So they made us sack our best creature and picked up their best creature from grave is what that spell was. I don't know where it went though. Why can't I look at their grave? There we go. It's just lagging. Consumed by greed is what it was. Okay, they didn't play Glarb. Oh, they didn't have the mana probably. Okay. Well, well, well. Bird, frog, otter, or rat. Okay, so that's not going to do that right now. I can't see myself killing 1/3s here, but I'm also going to die to them because it's a 2/3 trample each time. Do I just shove one just to draw the card? So I need to find something better here. This is awkward, but I need to draw a card pretty bad. At this point, Playful Shove has looked awful for our first game. You know what I could do that's pretty cute? I could like borrow their Barb and see if I get lucky on the hits. So that is 2 lands. They get a land when they play it, and when they sacrifice it as a food, they get another land. Cool. Hello, Glarb. Hopefully, thanks to playing the Harvest first, they're tapped out of whatever Glarb would hit here. If they do have a big mana value 4 or greater spell, but we'll see. I like the idea of being able to chump with a fish and then sack it and draw a card later. But the trample... the trample's really getting around that kind of nonsense. No! I need spells. Well, let's see. Let's see if Glarb can hit something. If it's a 4-drop, I could technically play it, but I guess I'm just going to assault Glarb with an extra 3 anyway. But I need a blocker. I'm at 6. 2 toughness is so bad, though. It's going to trade into a 2-3 attacking Root Weaver. This Hunter's Talent has 100% been the MVP of the game. It'd be pretty far ahead right now if it weren't for Hunter's Talent, but because of Hunter's Talent, we're pretty far behind. It's done a lot of work. Glarb. Harnesser of Storms is going to be our draw. Do I want to surveil that away? It's probably better than hitting them for 2. At the very least, see what is coming up next. Because I'm not casting anything alongside it immediately. I guess the 1-4 blocker is good against the 2-3 tramples, so it is probably a fine draw. The mountain is not. So we'll get rid of the mountain. We'll draw the Harnesser as a... not a chump blocker, but just a full-on blocker. Okay. Our recruiter is going to trade with the buffed Root Weaver. Uh-oh, what is this land? Oh, nothing. Good. There's a stop with the upkeep. I was worried they had a good land here. No. Alright, they draw into a 2-1, which is very relevant. That's a 3-1 trample, but our 1-4 body holds that off. And I get to start trying to do the Fountain Port card draws. I get a Surveil off of Lilypad Village this turn as well. That's definitely something. Since an otter entered the battlefield this turn. Surveil 2. Find a Pathmaker and Stormchaser's Talent. 2 incredible draws. We leave them in the same order then, right? Because then we play Pathmaker. We actually draw so many cards because Harnesser's going to trigger one, Pathmaker's going to trigger one. Oh my god, we're about to get so far ahead. That's huge. That is huge. Oh, I actually could have ordered them differently and fountain ported right now into the 1-drop and cast that immediately. Like, sack the treasure token, draw a card by spending 2 red, tapping fountain port, boom, and then play the 1-drop. That would have been better. Oh! Oh, that is so dead. That's a giant trampler, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's big enough to trigger Hunter's Talent. That's the worst part. Exactly big enough to start drawing them the extra cards. Right. I'm concerned. Ooh, did they hit an instant too? They're thinking. Oh my god, they immediately hit an instant as the end step draw? Wow. That's exceptional. I'm surprised they cast it right then, though, because they let us draw a card before our turn, which is nice. But, oh god, yeah. We need to find a way to block so much stuff now. Turn an instant source from your grave to your hand. I need to kill this Dray Leader super badly. I probably need to pick up the 4 damage removal, kill the Dray Leader. So the longer this stays around, the bigger it's going to get. It's already like lethal trample, but then they're going to resolve this thing and draw a card off that still. They draw a card when this enters the battlefield. All right, let's just deal with the immediate threats. See if we can stick around at all. Oh my god, another Harnester? Woo! If I mill myself out, do I get the moral victory? I don't know if I can actually afford the other Harvester. I'm definitely going to play it after the level up and removal here. If I can. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm going to be 1 mana off. That's fine. Because it probably, realistically, is just going to end up milling me out anyway. Do they have a creature token? No. So we just take the 3 mana exile. So that there's at least slightly less for them to forage with, but foraging is so easy for them right now. Regardless. What is that auto tap? Oh, it wants me to be able to surveil 2 here. I think I'd rather play a 2/1. No, I don't need the 2/1 because they're not going to have haste. Yeah, that's actually right. Be able to surveil 2 here. Auto tapper actually correct one time? Never seen it before. Ooh. Yeah. Cast all that stuff. Actually, mana-wise, I'm not 100% confident. So specifically instants and sorceries will start getting an otter army to try to take over with. Oh no. This has been a really long game 1 of the format. We are probably getting outraced with the size of the stuff that they've got here. It's just too beefy. We stuck it around real long against the Hunter's talent, though, so we've certainly tried. And I need to exile this thing and just have it threatening to bounce something here instantly, because the trample. Yeah, I need to be able to bounce the trample. May exile the top, play it until the end of turn. Yeah, I can't downdraft right now, so I have to decline that one and then use this one. 3 mana is what I need up. Oh shoot, I had enough to play Battler. I should have played Battler then Pathmaker and still had the 3 up. Bad sequencing. Let's go. I guess I could have just hardcast this for 4. And they just put Bruiser on top and redraw it. Whenever you spend 4 mana in 1 turn, their whole board... No, just raccoons get +1/+1 vigilance, thank goodness. They've still got some raccoons over there, though. Most importantly, the big trampler is a raccoon. Oh, they pick up the removal spell, too? Oh, no. Oh, no. There goes Pathmaker. I still get to downdraft this Bruiser, so we don't get hit this turn. This is way too much stats, though. till end of this turn, so I decline that. Their card draw is not a May ability. Maybe we have the slightest chance in the world of milling them? Pretty unlikely. Might be dying to some kind of onboard trick I didn't notice. Nope. Yeah, they do get a trample attacker every turn no matter what. Yeah, we're definitely not sticking it out long enough. Although downdraft is something. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm 1 mana off. I'm 1 mana off from leveling this to level 3 and then downdrafting. Because I need 6 mana for this. And 3 for this. Wait, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I didn't count my fancy lands. I have 10. I have enough. I need 6 plus 3. I need 9. I can even do it for the full hard cast. So we do that, and then we have to downdraft whatever they give trample to survive a turn. I mean, we're hoping to just draw absolutely perfectly for the rest of the game. And I don't know what we even have left in the deck, so I don't even think that's possible, but we'll see. I think we barely survive because we have 3 blockers, right? And they have 3 attackers because we bounced the trampling attacker. So we can block all 3 and survive for a turn. I can't use my extra 1 mana for anything anyway. It doesn't really matter what I hold up. And that is 5 toughness, so I cannot kill it. Oh no. Oh no. Now I have to survive 2 tramplers and 2 creatures that can't be blocked by chump blockers. Dang, that's all I got. I'm the chump block master over here. Well, we can see what we would have got. I am on board taking 6 from just these 2 alone, because they can give that the +1. This doesn't work with lizards, right? No, it doesn't. Another land. All right. Well, I mean, honestly, probably 7, 8 turns in, as we said earlier, I mean, this Hunter's Talent already put them just miles ahead. We lasted at least like 3 times as long as I thought we would. So it's a loss in the end, but I mean, I think it was still a decent showing for the more controlling aspects of our deck. And it was an incredible showing for Hunter's Talent. I think that thing is going to be a premium uncommon. All right, here we are for game 2. Curve out on a little more aggressive end this time around. I think we just curve out. Otherwise, we're not casting anything until turn 4, so let's get some chip damage in, or trade off. No, a 1/3. Oh, that is one of the best looters ever printed. 1/3 Vigilance Prowess plus tap, draw a card, discard a card, plus copy instants of sorceries they control. Oh, I guess they have to double Prowess trigger for that to happen, though. Or, like, equip that with something. Well, that's terrifying. Oh, I needed to play an island there. That was bad. I forgot about the lily pad's ability till I played my land. We don't actually, this isn't actually a blue land for non-creatures, so we actually don't have downdraft up if they tap Kitsu to draw a card, which is super bad. Because being able to downdraft here if they draw a card during their turn and then tap out for Pathmaker next turn would be pretty massive. That was a big miss. Definitely one of the quicker things to learn about the format for sure. These are only creature color lands. This is actually a colorless land for a lot of our cards. And it impacted the game a lot here, because downdraft on curve into Pathmaker would have been very good. But now we're on a completely different path. I think we're just going to start with the mage instead at this point. If that is how I played it. So our opponent's on blue-black, which is a rat color pair. They're trying to get 7 or more cards in their graveyard, and then all their threshold cards get more powerful. Okay. Can downdraft Kitsu in their in our end step and playful shove in the same turn? Sure. Shove's been pretty bad overall, so let's just cycle it for a bunch of damage. Don't just hold on to it and hope. Another downdraft? Alright. Maybe the double mage is just gonna get enough chip damage to go there. We let that resolve first so they don't immediately redraw the otter. I guess it doesn't matter. Wait, what the? I have to full control mode to let that resolve and then respond? Arena, why are you the way that you are? There is 100% a step where I have priority after that ability resolves before the turn completely passes to our opponent. That I would not call a punt. That's just because Arena works the way it does. I had to play in full control mode, I guess. Now I don't get to cast this unless I hit the 3/4, which I don't really want to do. But I probably want to play the otter here, and getting extra damage is reasonable. So far, so good on the Coruscation Mage. I like that a lot. I, in fact, like it so much, I'm going to Google what Coruscation means. A sudden flash or gleam of light, a series of bright flashes, a striking display of brilliance or wit. Okay. I feel no less confident in what that word means. It's a flashy mage, it's a bright mage, it's a smart mage, a witty mage. That was a lot of definitions, Google. Does this trigger off otters? No. That'd be kind of sweet. Alright, we can Pathmaker Surveil, I think. Probably fine. I guess Downdraft can hit any creature as long as I have 4 mana up, so I can actually attack in reasonably. They use a trick, I can downdraft. Okay, they're going for a prowess trick. That's right, I forgot about the prowess. That card is, like, good with a capital G. It's like, good. Oh, I missed out on a point of damage, too, by not downdrafting in response. Only the tightest lines today. Well, I can sack the food to draw a card off of the Fountain Port later. Can't do it this turn because I have to downdraft. My mage is a food now. Not a token, though. Hello, incredible card. 4 mana, blue, and then 4, and then 2. I do have the mana. I feel like they don't block here with no mana up. But if they do, I've got the Storm Chaser's Talent into Playful Shove. Line. Sick. Okay, so since they didn't block, let's see if Pathmaker finds anything. Two to a creature? Play that until the end of my next turn, so I still have access to that for later. So I can Blooming Blast plus Playful Shove? What am I gifting them to deal 3 to them? A treasure token? That's a little bit of value for them. They're on 5 mana. But it's probably worth it. They're pretty low if I do another 3. Ooh. Create a Prowessing Otter. And if you flash it back, you get a 2/2 Prowessing Otter. Oh, that seems really nice for this kind of deck. 2 non-creature spells that make creatures. Yeah, that's some good prowess nonsense. Alright, I'm still holding on to Blooming Blast because I'm gonna... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to top deck a land? Because I need 4 mana to level up. 2 mana for Blast, 2 mana for the Shove. Perfect. If we didn't top deck the land, I could still like pick up the Shove and ship the Otter out of here, I guess, and then Blooming Blast is just gone. Okay. Colorless, blue, 1, 2. Level up. Playful Shove. Shove. Blast. Swing out. This probably eats my 4/2. Consumed by greed. Okay, I guess that eats my 4/2. I'm actually pretty happy with that timing then. Oh no, the prowess. No, I'm not happy with the timing. I keep forgetting the prowess. Prowess has put in work. So we would have gotten 2 for 1 by that either way, right? Because if they did wait, then they could have killed my 4/2 while I'm attacking. And, well, no, I guess it would be the same, right? Yeah. No, this was just better for them, for sure. I was like, maybe they do prowess shenanigans on blocks. No, then they don't have Kitsa. Disregard any, any strategy-based commentary until the set releases on Tuesday. This is the going in blind and confused day. Whoop. Muting that. My bad. This is a hard control deck from our opponent. I don't know what's going on with the early access client, but I can't... The graveyard keeps lagging out. is awkward. The double Keats is really cool. What did they just cast? Oh no. Creature and opponent controls would die, exile it instead. Beginning of each end step, create X rats. X number of creature your opponents controlled that were exiled this turn. Okay, I mean, we tap out to exile that then, right? I'll have 3 mana up, so I could cast the Harvester and do this, but I would be exiling the top card of my deck for nothing. So I could just cast this Post Assault and it's the same. It is a May ability, so I could have done it first and then just said decline, but no reason to if I'm not going to use the ability anyway. Eddie Merc Crab. It's a flasher. 1 less for each instant sorcery in their grave. If they play it during their turn, then it comes in untapped, but if they play it during our turn, it comes in tapped. When it enters, it taps 2 creatures. Okay, so we're just going to have 3 blockers up, try to keep them out. And we're going to try to hit removal. Or bounce. That is neither removal or bounce. Well, it is a good thing this Fountain Port does something. Thanks to this food we were gifted. Flame Cash Gecko. Discards our land to draw a card. I can play the Gecko, discard the land, draw a card, see if we hit a spell, or I can play the land and get a 1/1. Oh no, I don't even get the 1/1 immediately. It's when I cast spells? Okay, no, then we dig for spells then, for sure. We're going to spend 15 minutes trying to save 15% or more. There's Alania. If we get any spell to go with Alania, that'll be incredible. I mean, we're already in a position where if we get like any spell to go with Harnesser, we're doing great. And Alania goes with Harnesser. Just need to find one final chip damage, and I definitely missed at least 1 point of damage earlier this game. The one that I can really remember was we let their removal spell resolve before we cast a non-creature spell, when we had the non-creature pinging token on board. So 100% that is one guaranteed missed point of damage, but I am sure there was more than that. I will happily take all this damage. I have 6 life worth of food here, and I just need to make sure I have more attackers than they have blockers, so I am not chumping. Okay. Can Alania discard a card, draw a card off Gecko? There are some cards I could hit that would insta-lethal our opponent, so I think I'd discard a card, draw first. I'm not going to have Lily Pad Village up, right? Tap out for Alania. I guess I could. If I just miss, if I just hit another island here, then I can just Alania and Surveil. That is definitely not a miss. It's also 1 mana off from playing Alania first. Well, we do this. Now I'm just going to get the colorless out of the way. Not the removal. Awkward. All right. We pass. So we haven't hit any of our take out the trashes at least, right? Yes, there's 2 take out the trash. We did hit both of our dire things, so we have like 3 insta-lethal cards. 2 take out the trash and 1 like steal one of their creatures till end of turn card. There's at least those. They return a 3/4 for another blocker. Fair. Let's see what the top deck is. We don't get to see what the top deck is. They're just going to cast the Light Shell Duo. Oh, wow, that's well over lethal. Because that gets doubled if I let them draw a card. Oh my god. We kill 3 of their creatures off this thing? 6, 2. Gift them a card. Yeah, there's just the concession from our opponent. 6 to the 5/5, 2 to the token. We let them draw a card, but we deal 6 to the 3/4 as well. Nice open path for us, and a very long, grindy game yet again. Maybe this is going to be a slower format than it looked like. It looked pretty aggressive on paper, but this could also just be early access. Everybody's dirtling around having fun for now. Maybe the mice decks are to come start steamrolling everybody when the set launches, or in our next draft, or right now. Maybe we're about to get aggro steamrolled. We'll see. All right, we're on a mono red lizard aggro deck with this hand, but I'm going to keep it on the draw. It needs to hit 1 land by turn 3. We have 3 draw steps to do that, but then we get to start with Battler with 2 removal spells at its side. And the Recruiter's pretty good when we have the Battler on board. All right, draw another red removal spell. Mono red lizard, friends. The blue-red mirror match. Back to see some otters over there. Uh-oh. 0 lands drawn in our first 2 coin flips. We'll see about the third. Next turn. Unfortunately, I don't get to discard a card, draw a card on Take Out the Trash unless I have a trash man. If I have a raccoon. Alright, discard a card, draw 2. Kindle Spark Duo. A 1/3 body that keeps pinging me. Which can trigger all their wizard stuff. Just gonna take out the trash here. Make sure I'm mana efficient while I'm stuck on mana. Luckily, I'm not stuck on mana. We top decked land 3 right in time. It was hiding for a moment there. We found it. Now our opponent's just gonna hold up removal for Battler. Nope. Draw some cards with the Pearl of Wisdom. Okay. Miss a land here, which is awkward because the Assault's a sorcery, so we're not doing anything with our mana here. Oh dear. Night Fisher seems very good. 5 mana, 4/5. Whenever another bird enters, they get a 1/1 fish. That is super good. It's only tapped creatures. That'd be if I want to bounce my own creature, I can do that. I don't think I want to bounce my own creature. Well, I can just downdraft here. I don't want to 2-for on myself here where like they block and then I also assault after the block. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to downdraft and have them recast it. And then hopefully find Conduct Electricity. Shoot. We did not find Conduct Electricity, so let's get 2-for-1 then at this point, because if we don't, that thing's going to 2-for-1 us anyway by spitting out a bunch of fish. They'll get more than 1 card's worth of value out of it regardless. Alright. Rough, but not horrible. Got a lot of potential card draw in our deck with cards like Pathmaker to get back in this, get back ahead. Kindle Spark Duo, use the Lily Pad Village. Oh, that thing is an otter. Interesting. Oh, it's also 3 mana. I thought it was 2 mana. Seems okay. Don't have a 1 mana instant or sorcery, but once I have 6 lands, I can pick up a Take Out the Trash and kill the duo, so that's probably play on land 6. I should not have played my land yet, because I could Pathmaker into a land. I mean, I could still play it next turn, I guess. Am I holding up Spellgire, though? Yeah, you know what? I have 2 pretty good instants. We can just hold these up. Get pinged to 19. Season of the Bold. This is probably just getting countered, right? How many can they choose? Oh, they need to fix that. I guess they already chose is what it is. So this is what they chose to do, I think. Yeah, exile the top 2, exile the top 2, create a tap. End of your next turn. So this is a draw 4. Oh yeah, that's getting countered. Okay. I thought that was the face of the card, because these are like, they have a bunch of different paw abilities you can choose, like 5 paws worth. So I was like, well, what did they choose? There we go. That's what the card looks like. When it was on the stack, it was telling us all the paw abilities that they chose. Okay, we didn't hit land 6, so let's hopefully Pathmaker towards it for later. Since I don't have a counterspell to hold up anymore anyway. Beautiful. And we pass. Alright, Stormcatch Mentor. Haste Prowess makes their instants and sorceries cost 1 less. Oh, that's really sweet. That's just like a... I guess not strictly better, because it's a 1/1 base stats instead of a 2/2. Well, that's a draw if they don't have an instant or sorcery. But it's very similar to the 1 blue, 1 red, 2/2 that makes your instants and sorceries cost 1 less. That goblin thing. Seems like a sweet card. I'm going to threaten to have another prowess here. Send in both. Opponent does not care. So, they will stop that damage. I'm going to move my way towards level 6 here. Grab the Take Out the Trash for the duo. If I can get to level 6 before I play more instant sorceries, that could be pretty massive. But I guess I just have more impactful spells to cast quicker, though. It's probably wrong. Just play another Pathmaker and try to find lethal quickly here. It's just cooler to try to make more honors. There's a level 3 on this thing. I want to use it. Blooming Blast? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am 1 mana off from going to level 6 and casting a spell here. Blooming Blast Recruiter could be lethal if they don't have a response. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is pretty gambly, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my prowess trigger and shoot them for 3, and then I'm going to steal and hit with everybody. See how much damage we can do. That should be exact C's if they have no response. Although they did tap their 1 blocker, so now I could also just take out the trash for prowess, lethal, and save the recruiter for if it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. Sadness. Yeah, got me with that one. Then I shall conduct electricity before you draw another card. Alright. I ended up spending all my spells before I level 6 the talent anyway. Alright, I'll redraw Pathmaker. Well, that was a very defensive turn from our opponent. But they top deck a land. Could be it. Flame Gecko thingy. I am 1 mana off. I play it next turn. Take out the trash. 1 mana off from take out the trash plus Gecko. And take out is just more impactful immediately. Alania. You got one of those. I like Alania. There's the Surveil to make sure they have something to do with their next turn, but trying to get them in a position where they don't have a next turn, and Gecko into Recruiter does that. Because now I have a Lizard on board. We get to steal Alania and swing lethal. We are now 2-1 heading into game 4. 3 for 3 on long games of Magic. Here we are for game 4 against Lord Tupperware, one of the Lords of Limited. Highly recommend the podcast if you are a podcast listener and you like learning more about a limited Magic. Mainly draft for the most part, but they talk about sealed sometimes too. Very experienced players. Very, very nice resource to have. Playing against Black-White. The Lord Tupperware is on some bats here. Black-White is about life gain and life loss. So with this, if they gained or lost life, they surveil one every turn. Stuff like that. Let's full aggro it out here. Come on out, battler. Go, go, go. Enter the battle house. Cool. Our 2-drop traded up into a 2/2 flyer. We'll take it. Sinister Monolith. They drain me for 1 each turn, so all their cards that care about gaining or losing life are going to be triggering, and they can draw 2 cards off of this at a later time. Seems nice. Get the Harnesser of Storms. Hope for 2 pass. Three flyer, drain me for 2. Pretty good. Pretty good. We've got a lot of removal that can kill that, but we have not hit any of it. So the Harnesser hits only till end of turn. I need an island so badly. I'm gonna just fully tap out for this, and if I hit the island, then I play the island. If I hit anything else, then it still exiled me a card closer to an island. Actually, I could gamble on if I hit the island getting to play Talent here by going for Harnesser. I guess if I hit the island, I can play it either way. Yeah, no, never mind. I'm an idiot. Disregard. Island off the top. Let's go. Mountain. Well, brought me closer to the island. Well, I do have a Lizard for Recruiter. We still don't hit the island. We can have their end step. If they gained or lost life, they look at the top 4, put a creature in a hand. That is very good. Power 3 or less, but that's most creatures. Okay, Blooming Blast can kill that and trigger a Harnesser. And then I can double spell playing another Harnesser here. I guess I play the other Harnesser first, because we just want to exile 2 cards towards an island. Not an island. But Playful Shove is a little better than a little better than Blooming Blast at killing the Star Charger. Look at this! Look at that stack. That's not the island. That is. For creatures only, sadly. Boom! What a turn. It's still a race, though, because all the life drain. We're down to 12. Lord Tupperware has gained a lot of life here to still be at 11 through all this damage. There's more life gain with the Carrot Cake. Stack that to gain some more and get 2 rabbits on blocks, which is rough because we're all on the ground here. Drain for life, poke for 3, we're down to 8. Another life drainer. Okay, conduct electricity's not bad. Okay, so Lord's tapped out of life gain here. Is there a way to find lethal with Coruscation Mage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I find a land off Double Harvester, I think we can find lethal. Even if I give Lord Tupperware a treasure, he can't do anything with it. So I believe we Blooming Blast, give him the treasure, and we really, really want to find the land so we can conduct electricity as well and just lethal. Oh, if I kill the Jackdaw, he reanimates something? Lesser mana value? Another creature card with lesser mana value. There's no creatures with lesser mana value, so we can shoot that. Land? Perfect. Land gets us there for sure. Land, conduct electricity, boom. Yeah, there's the concession already. That was wild. We're also going to get the double spell trigger off the Battler. Put him to like -10 or something. That was the craziest game so far. Also the fastest game so far. Each of us came out swinging there. So very different from the first several. Pretty sweet game to have against Lord Tupperware, one of the Lords of Limited. We are now 3-1, at least an even run for my very first draft of the set. Very sweet stuff, but let's keep it going, heading into game number 5. And here we are now against Veggie Wagon, who's also Team Frog. Let's go. Best avatar. This is a fine hand. No value Gecko, but it still has that activated ability if we flood out. Turn some lands into spells. It's our insurance policy. Nice little insurance salesman here, giving us 15% off. Anti-flood assurance. All right. One, 3. Well, Geico's going nowhere. Running straight into the booty. Another blue-red mirror match. Ooh, our deck's good against this, because we have a playful shove in it, which I would love to hit. Let's just start getting Harnesser value right. I'm playing another blue source towards Lilypad Village Surveils more easily. I don't really think our land order is going to matter a ton here, but we'll see. Just don't want to like super mess it up. Miss an exile on Harnesser to set up the big damage here. I don't mind that. Okay. Double spell Battler into Blast. I miss the Harnesser trigger if I do that. I guess I can Blast first. But then I miss the Battler damage. We look to be in a pretty good aggressive position with a resolved Coruscation Mage. So let's go for damage here. Maybe we Pearl of Wisdom. I don't know how much I want to blast a 1/1 prowess. They double spell me, that's pretty gross. I guess getting it away before blocks is nice. At least seeing if it's going to be too big as well. I mean, even if they like prowess to get this spell to not actually resolve, it's still... because we have all these cards, it's still fine value just to trigger everything. It's 4 damage. Alright, they don't have enough prowess, and now we're just schmoovin', honestly. Although, pinging off of every non-creature spell we cast is worth it enough to not chump attack there. With the 1/1. Ooh, they had the counter spell, but like all our stuff's just triggering anyway, so didn't have a great spot to use it. I guess maybe would have countered the battler, but they want to set up the card draw here. Maybe they have a board wipe? They wanted it to resolve? I don't know what board wipes are in the set. Obviously don't really know the set yet. Maybe there is a red one. Oh, there's an uncommon that does 2 to everything. And if you gift your opponent something, then you deal an extra 1 to something. So they'd kill everything but our Harnesser, because they could do 1 to the battler and then 2 to everybody. That would be gross. That would actually be super gross here. We'd still sort of be in the game, thanks to the Harnesser and the Pearl of Wisdom. We'd have a draw 3 on our next turn. Okay. It is not that board wipe, so we're definitely still in the game for now. I don't love those, but that's why I bought car insurance. Not bad, not bad. In fact, I think that's lethal, because the battler trigger on top of the mage trigger. Ooh, it's 1 off. Close enough. They die to a light breeze. Might of the Meek draw a card. Pretty much all they're doing there. Looking for outs. The safest way to kill them is just a triggered ability. Just in case there's like an Aetherize in the format, like bounce all attackers or something. Sure. We are now 4-1, guaranteed a positive record out of our first draft. Nap keep on the play. Gecko into the bigger lizard. Removal in between. Mono green so far from our opponent. And the Pond Prophet is the play. Really good card that removal doesn't really do anything to because its value is up front. If I don't need to take out the trash here, then I will use this ability, discarding probably the Recruiter here, looking for another island. Maybe I can discard the Assault here, because once I have 4 mana, I can pick up an instant or sorcery from grave, too. Another Pawn Prophet. Sweet value. Yeah, we're not taking out the trash. I would never throw a frog in the garbage, are you kidding me? It's evil. I say that, but I probably have already technically shot a frog with take out the trash. Alright, let's try to guarantee land 4 here. Sorry, Recruiter. Well, that is so good top end. Maybe we ditch the Assault as a sorcery. Beautiful. They play anything good, we counter it. And they don't, we draw some cards. Unfortunately, classes are sorcery speed. So I can't use the class here. Don't really want to attack it and have to take out the trash. For Gecko to live. Or to trigger prowess, or anything like that. If they cast something that doesn't need to get countered, we're definitely using this to guarantee land 5. When enemies return another permanent you control to its end, okay, that needs to be countered. Yeah. They get a 3/3 reach and they get another draw card set up. The value is too good. Uh-oh, a 1-drop? Oh, do they have that 1-mana exile thing? That's also insane value. Draw 2, yeah. 1 mana, draw 2. They are just hopping around over there. They're playing Frogger while I'm playing Magic. Not fair or balanced. We're playing completely different games. This was wrong. I want to play Harnesser here. I mean, I guess if they want to kill the Gecko, they have to lose both Pawn Profits, which is bad for them, because then they can't do this nonsense anymore. Yeah, I probably could have attacked with Gecko again last turn, considering that blue-green is the hopping strategy. The bouncing strategy, I should say. Bounce things back to your hand, bounce them into exile, flicker them back on board. Frogs have Ward 1. Well, they also get unblockable attacks, and when they hit us, they can put it back to their hand. Oh no, they can exile it and flicker. Oh, that's really good. Ooh. That is sick. I'm actually very jealous right now. Our opponent's living the frog dream. Oh, I clicked on the graveyard like 2 minutes ago, now it has showed up. Alright, well, I can recruit her whatever I want, but I don't have the ward mana for it. I've got the ward mana for Take Out the Trash here, and then I can Blooming Blast afterwards, because then they won't have ward anymore, so that feels like the play. Oh, please don't. This thing an instant? Okay, thank God. At least Splash Portal is a sorcery, so it can't be that. They could have like a runaway together here? Yeah, it's... And that's not the end of the world, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Found a 4-drop. Alright, goodbye 4-drop. Don't think I'm giving them a treasure here. Because it's at the point of the game they can definitely still do good stuff with their mana. I just love the flexibility on this. Like on a turn when it would give you lethal, you just give them the treasure and you're so happy. But mid-game like this, probably not. They have a 3rd prophet? They have a 4th prophet? Ooh. Day -7 drafts of the format are wild. I clicked on the graveyard. It'll show up eventually. I wanted to look at the other 2 pawn prophets. Yeah, this card's just sweet. Yeah, they've got a full play set of Pawn Prophets. Alright, well, that's a brick wall. Go for Harnesser value off of Mascot. If I go for it off of Pathmaker, I can't play whatever Harnesser hits. Unless we're real lucky. Maybe Harnesser hits a land, and then Pathmaker hits a spell for next turn. Yeah, sure. It's a bigger attacker. Land. No! You hit a land. Please, please, please. Oh my god. Never didn't have it. Unstoppable. It's rough to have not been able to offspring this, though. Just have 1 damage off each spell. Because their board is going to be difficult to attack through. Whenever another creature control leaves the battlefield without dying, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That is super nice for the Frog deck. There's a lot of that going on already, bouncing and exiling and just hopping around. And here it goes. Lurker, draw another card off Pawn Prophet, get a counter off 3 Tree Scribe. This is the full synergy pop-off. Our opponent is doing to us what we did to Lord Tupperware. This is the full synergy swing, like the dream hand. There's too many frogs. This is an infestation here. This is the plague of frogs upon us. Oh my. Draw another card. They're just speed running their way through their deck. Toss's Oracle would be jealous. Alright, I guess we're full on trying to get chip damage off of Battler and Mage. They're definitely going to trigger our Battler every turn if they don't have a lot of removal in their deck. Phew. Sure, I need land still, so we'll try for it. Beautiful. No swings, though. The frogs have expanded. Food token. No life gain. No life gain allowed. You're a frog deck, not a raccoon deck. Or a squirrel deck. This is both a squirrel and a raccoon. Oh no, what does this do? Oh, flickers frogs for 3 mana? Oh no. They can just keep flickering the raccoon as well. Does that trigger this, or is frogs only? Yeah, it's any creature. Oh no. Stop. Cease and desist. Okay, well, they're tapped out of eating the food right now, so if I draw 5,000 instants and sorceries, I can kill them. Cast them all in one turn. Alright, let's Otter Storm. Go, go, go. Their stuff's like way too big for our removal to do anything about. Plus it all has ward. As well. I need just immediate damage kind of cards and not like setup for long game cards, because if we give them like one more turn is like draw 3, put 3 counters on the board, gain 6. But this is our strongest long game card in the deck, so we'll try for it. How many 2-drops do I have left? Oh, I don't know. Deck trackers do not work in early access. Probably too few to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, lands work. I can do 3 to face with a Blooming Blast out of grave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 direct damage if I cast Blooming Blast and another spell in the same turn. Alania can double the Blooming Blast? Hold up. We can do 6 to face off of that. I don't think this works off copies, though. Yeah, we have to cast 2 spells. So we can do 6 off Alania. Does this work with copies? No. 6 off Alania, 1 off of Mage. If I can cast another spell alongside the Blast, I kill them. So if I draw a cheap spell... So I think I actually even Gecko away the Reptilian here. And we just try to pick up Blast, double spell them for lethal. If they tap out of the food. If they don't tap out of the food, I don't think we're getting anywhere this game. But that could randomly do things. Yeah, they have gained 9 life on board, but they have the mana up for gaining 4 right now. Please tap another 3. that you have no life gain up? No, they're looking at their food tokens. I mean, they know they're so locked in if they just hold up mana for food. There's no breaking through unless we randomly surprise lethal them. It looks like they're probably not tapping out here. Wait. Hold. Hold. They only have 1 mana up. This is 1, right? Yeah, it's 1 mana. If I draw a cheap enough spell, I do surprise lethal them, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 to return, I need a 2-drop. That's a 2-drop. That's a 2-drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I give them a food off of the blast though. I give them a treasure that they can use to eat the food. But that's after the damage resolves, right? If you do, they create a treasure token before its other effects. No! Before, so they do get a food. Oh no. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. God dang it. Well, this is still so close. So I'll do it to send a message, right? Well, I mean, I have to double this one, so I have to cast it first. Yeah, I have to double this one. So we give them 2 treasures, they can eat 1 food. Wait, what if I shoot the Root Weaver? It doesn't matter. They tap it for mana and then get the treasure, and yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Take action. Get a duplicate. Boom. Ping. Trigger. Boom. They're at 2. But they have the mana to eat a food here in response to the next 3 damage, so they're slightly alive. Gosh darn. Oh, this is the first sorcery. Hold up, this is the first sorcery, so I can copy this? I don't know if it matters, but I will. Oh, they say GG? I think they're just letting it happen. Okay. Maybe they could survive off of food, but they're letting it happen. I think they could survive off of food. Could they not? 1. There's 2 more damage on the stack while they're at -1, so they would tap this and crack a treasure, gain 3. Instead of -1 right now, they're at 2, and then they take 2. No, it's exactsies. Because they have the mana to eat 1 food, and if they ate 1 food, they would have been at 2 after all of that damage resolved. And there's 2 more damage on the stack. Oh my god, this format's wild. This format's wild. They did all this nonsense and we still got the ping damage. If they played a little more aggressive, we might have died or had to lose some of the synergy pieces before that, but I don't know. I mean, everybody's new to this format. That was completely unexpected to me as well, but I will take it. We are 5-1 heading into Game 7. All right, let's go. Game 7. The Gecko's back. We're always starting out with Geico. Turn 2. Black-white again, so some more bats. We'll curve out here. Not too worried about this, right? A little bit of life gain. That triggers all the cards that care about life gain or life loss. That's pretty good if you curve into the 2/2 flyer that surveils. Some stuff like that. Ooh, the life loss cutthroat. 3 mana 4/3 is a pretty good deal. Kind of ruins the battler as a play for the turn, so we go for the harnesser. I want a harnesser before I take out the trash, but this right here, that looks like trash to me. And in the team cannot do nothing about it. I guess I could double block the cutthroat and just lose one of these, but I do not want to lose my harnesser. I don't want to lose Lila. Huh. We can hope this kills them. Feels risky. I mean, I can't kill both of them anyway. Feels like killing one just makes it slightly less likely that they randomly die. This is maybe a bad idea, but I'm going to let them stay. They have to draw cards and lose life equal to the mana value each turn. Alright, not a bad hit. We do get a lot of surprise damage off of Recruiter coming up. So maybe they hit some bad hits for Darkstar Augur, but if they're good hits, we're in a bad spot. And they're good hits so far. I don't know, it just feels like because they got that offspring out of it, like they have one of that ability no matter what, and one of that ability is just gonna make me pretty confident they're gonna stay ahead of us in cards, and then the damage is just not gonna be enough to matter. So if they have two of the ability, they're further ahead in cards, but also the damage might stack up into mattering. I don't know. There's no great way around that. And we do die pretty fast to flying here. Although now I get some damage on the ground. Maybe, if I find more removal. I did find a Bark Form Harvester. That is sturdy. Battler plus Pearl here for maximum damage. Probably. Maximize damage output. Okay, this can kill the Augur and its copy. So that can help out. We're actually moderately stable on the ground. Not really. I mean, they're ahead on cards. They're gonna get ahead on board with those cards. The Banishing Light on the Battler. Taking 3 a turn from Augur and its friend. Might be on, like, what? Conduct the Duo and the Rabbit? Get rid of their life gain at this point. Alania, you're just a little too late. If we had an Alania on board and then cast Electricity, that's like game ending. That would clear out the Duo, the Augur, this token, and that token. Completely flip the board. So they held the Carrot Cake up here, so they're still at like 18. I can shoot both of these. Die slower, I guess. Or pray they somehow have 18 mana value super quickly. Well, I don't see how we possibly win this game, but it involves doing this and then drawing significantly better than our opponent from there. Alright. Eat some Carrot Cake. Now we're just taking 1 damage a turn. We might have a stalling game from here. If they don't have removal for Alania, that would be the big thing that could maybe pop off like crazy. 3/3 on the ground. 2/2 Death Touch on the ground, or 3/2 Death Touch, but still trades into a 2/1 is the important part. Bad draw is bad, but I have the mana to ditch it and draw something else next turn. So Alania, Trigger Harvester. I think we go for it for 2 drops or lands. We find Fountain Port. I should not have auto-tapped out of red. Oh, I have Mascot. Yeah, I'm fine. I have Mascot. Never mind. I guess the alternative was tapping out a blue, and then I couldn't, like, draw into a blue source. Yeah, so either way, we would be potentially not being able to do something because of what we held up if it weren't for the 3-tree Mascot. When this enters, target opponent loses 3 unless they sack an all-in permanent, discard a card. I'm at 5 life. I guess we're not using Gecko anymore then. Because I think I just need to discard both of these cards then. Because I can't sack any permanents here, and I certainly can't lose the life. Yeah. Well, shoot. We didn't need the red source up anyway. We didn't even need your help, 3-tree Mascot. I'm not even using my insurance. Down to 4. And we hope that Alania and Harnesser just start chaining like nobody's business. Quickly. Is Recruiter bad enough to ditch it to draw a card here? The steal is going to do nothing for us. It's just the 4/2 body, pretty much. I guess it actually kind of is. Take out the trash, that's a big one. Oh, and the mage, the Coruscation mage? That's huge. I wonder if I copy the Offspring ability. I'm going to copy the Otter either way. I do? I copy the Offspring ability? Oh my god, look at this. Oh! Take out twice the trash now. Woo! Take your fresh grip and go crazy, opponent, because I'm going crazy right now. Let's see what kind of nonsense your deck can come up with off these draws. The saddest part is it's probably not even going to be that cool, because we're at 4 life. They're just going to, like, find a couple life drain spells. Not going to be some big synergy thing. It's just going to be like, all right, I'll play a drain 2 and a drain 2 on enters the battlefield. Triggers on some bats or something. All right, look at the top 4. Put 2 of them in their hand and lose 2. Very nice card draw. Uh-oh, they chose not to pick up a removal spell for Alania, so they probably picked up something very good, such as something that just kills us on the spot. Maybe like a good flyer, maybe something that drains us for 4. Yep, that's a good flyer. Alright, that is going to kill us insanely quickly. Oh, and they already have the removal. Wow. So I mean, the top might have been Fell, Essence Channeler, and a land. Dang. Well, that's about as much covering as I think we could have hoped for. Now we have to lose most of our board. I mean, we definitely keep the Harnesser of Storms, but we have to lose some of our Coruscation mages here, and yeah. Definitely the Gecko. Yeah, we have to lose at least one Coruscation Mage. I think I keep the rest. This could be wrong. I mean, they're at 17. Yeah, I guess we should just be clearing out creatures, but it's not super relevant either way, because Channeler's just going to kill us if we don't find a way to deal with it. So the most relevant thing is just keeping Harnesser and drawing as much as possible. I think we do this, because red gives us all our removal. Root. How does this get flying? If they lose life. So they need something in hand to give it flying at least. Alright, well. Pass. If they can lose life this turn and gain life twice, we're dead. Bezos! Jeff! Get out of here. So they get a treasure. They didn't gain life, which is good. They didn't get the fish either. They just got a treasure. Alright. The worst Bezos I've seen, but we'll take it. Also the only Bezos I've seen, so what are you gonna do? Would I rather bounce than trade? You know what? I think I'd rather trade, because that could randomly hit like Valiant triggers and stuff. That could be bad. Valiant triggers are things where like when you target your creature, you do something. Oh no, life gain removal. Steam Path Charger, that's something. I could sack the lizard to draw a card here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, not gonna do that. We're just gonna get a treasure token out of the fountain port then. I want to have the full amount of blockers on board. I guess I'll draw the card if they present Essence Channeler lethal. So this one looks at the top 6. I kind of hate that these all do something different. When I first read them, I thought they all did the same thing, just for the different creature types, but they all do something different for their creature types. This one digs out of your deck. The black one recurs from grave. The blue one surveils if one entered. A lot harder to keep track of. I guess it makes it more interesting, but it's a lot more to keep track of than the non-basics usually are. Like, you actually need to just read them every time for at least your first, like, probably 10 drafts or something, because every single one is slightly different at best, and quite a bit different at worst. You know, the village way different than the lily pad village way different than the lupin flower village. Double 2 of the Essence Channeler Bat Clerics. Oh, they can just attack with this assassin and hit me for exactly 4. I did not notice them playing the assassin last turn, but we're dead to the assassin. Because then they lose life and gain life, and the Essence Channeler is a 4-power flyer. Okay. They did not notice either, and we remain for a moment. So this is just a 4-5, and this is just a 3-3. Boop. Alright, so I mean, we're dead on board to the... if they attacked with the lizard. I think. Oh no, defending player loses life. This only works when they lose the life. Okay, never mind. I lied. I was a fool the whole time. Okay, Playful Shove is definitely good. I might mill myself this game. Woo! Oh, this is silly. It didn't have any counters though, right? Yeah, it didn't have any counters. Good. If I surveil, I don't have Spellgire up anymore because I don't have the blue. Probably shouldn't have auto-tapped, but it is what it is. Alright, I have the counter spell if they cast anything that makes them lose life. Beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life, I have to sack an on-land permanent or discard a card. It's also a Flying Vigilant card. Yeah, there's no way I can let that resolve then. Oh, this makes them lose life, though. Ah, shoot, that's kind of rough that I can't choose not to ping them. I don't think I have a lot of 2-mana instants up in the deck now. Well, I go to 1. Oh no, I die to Assassin. No, I had to let it resolve. Shoot. Well, that was a really bad spot then, so I had to let them get a 3/5 Flying Vigilance and then just die to that next turn. Brutal. Well, they did the thing. They gained a lot of life, drained us for a lot of life. Mainly, they bombed us the heck out. I mean, they were playing Bezos in multiple ways. That was a lot of rares on board, eviscerating my soul. And we are 5-2, heading into game number 8. All right, here we are for game 8. We've seen Harnesser be incredible in so many of these games. Let's just curve out Mascot into the Harnesser here. And the Mascot is the blue source if they don't kill it. Uh-oh. Turn 1, the thing that keeps getting bigger. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, especially if they have any offspring cards or token producers and stuff. Ooh, 1 mana 2/2 trample into 2 mana 3/2. I might just die instantaneously. I'm about to throw a frog in the trash, which earlier I said I would not do at all, but here we are. Unfortunately, it looks like they might have an instant here instead of just a pre-combat creature to buff the Might Caller. Okay, good. They don't have the instant. So I kill the frog. They don't have anything that turn. Very good for me. Harnesser to start drawing cards. The other option there was Mascot into Talent. But again, this Lily Pad Village does not tap for creatures. Or sorry, for non-creatures. For the blue mana. So I could not have just cast Pearl of Wisdom or Talent without a Mascot on board. Banishing Light the Harvester is pretty rude, but we've drawn another one. Although again, because this is only blue mana for creatures, I can't go Harness or Talent for insta-value. Still just set that up, right? I could Mascot Pearl of Wisdom. It's also a fine play. Down to 9. Just getting punched in the face by a raccoon repeatedly. Absolutely violent format. Pathmaker. Interesting. I really need this Mascot down. Well, go back where you came from, Trash Panda. Oh, I've got a raccoon on board because I've got a Mascot. We need to get rid of the double blue non-creature card then. Because I have to hit an island to play it with this Mascot. I would immediately draw the island, but that's fine because that means I get to play Storm Chaser's Talent. No Harnesser value off of it, but the tempo is certainly worth it right now when we're at 9 life. Let's expand our board a little bit. What does the green one do? Oh, it puts a counter on all their stuff. See, that's so different. Ooh, I'm gonna have to get used to playing around this. Usually the white removal just hits attacking blocking creatures, but it also hits tapped creatures in this format. So when you've got like a 1/4 with a really good ability like that, you probably just sit there with it. It's not worth the 1 damage to maybe get hit by like a solar strike. All right, oh, the Hunter's Talent again, that thing, incredible card. I do not love to see that. Okay, I don't have the mana to do Storm Chaser's Talent super well right now. Let's get some Wisdom. Get a land, perfect. Playful Shove, also a great draw. But I think I'm on Pathmaker to play something else next turn. And have a little bit better board. Alright, land next turn, sure. I can Playful Shove Storm Chaser's Talent for next turn. Or if they play a better creature, I pick up better removal and kill it. Do drop Cure. Reanimate 2 creatures from grave and they're just right back at it with the Might Caller and the Boxer. That is horrible. At least we hit Conduct Electricity, so we've got a reasonable play here. I can Conduct Electricity and hold up the Blooming Blast to wipe their entire board. Okay, I'm cool with the trade. I can take over the long game if I can keep all my spells. Don't need the 4-2 to do it. If we can get the game to go real long, I can do this before I play more instances. No, double Dewdrop Cure. Oof. That's painful. Oh, and the village to put a counter on both of them? Ooh. Maximum levels of gross. I guess we have to kill the Trampler over the non-Trampler here. I mean, they're both going to be Tramplers because of the talent anyway. Guess they kill the one that can get indestructible then? I don't know, this is just really bad. I guess I talent to kill the other one now. True. 3 damage. Take out the trash. You are the trash. And maybe they are out of stuff now. They just get 1 rabbit. That's a land. That doesn't do much. Let's put counters on rabbits. No, it does. Shoot. Oh no. Oh no. 2/2/2 rabbits. This might be the best land that we've seen. This is nuts, actually. Getting them out of reach of like Playful Shove here. Plus, the rabbits and the squirrels are like the most token producing archetypes, so getting a counter on all of them is wild. Yeah, that's a super bad time. What was that auto tap? Oh no. Another format, another time you should never let auto tap or do anything. It tapped me out of Playful Shove to be able to activate a lily pad village that I can't activate because I don't have any otters entering the battlefield this turn anyway. Obviously the play was to do this and then Playful Shove so I have 2 otters. That was gross. What are you gonna do? That's a perk of playing Digital Magic right there. You try to play fast, but the auto tapper is an absolute buffoon and you get destroyed for it. To be fair, we would not have particularly good blocks anyway. We'd have 2 1/1 otters. Wow. At least they're 1 mana off from using the land with that. Good lord. 2 2/2s and a 4/3 if they had the land with that. Oak Hollow Village has got some hands. Alright, well, we were probably dead regardless, but now we're super dead. Because we tapped out of the shove. I mean, I guess it pans out slightly better that we did, because now I get to kill creature with it when I make my otter. But I mean, they're going to give somebody trample. We're going to have very low toughness over here. I can at least Spellgyre during their turn to have 2/2/2 toughness creatures. Maybe I get to Surveil into 2-mana removal, but I think I drew it all. I could hit my blue removal spell, but I don't have blue up after using Spellgyre. So my, like, return an attacking creature thing's not going to work. I think we die no matter how we play this against that wide of a board, plus the biggest creature having trample. It's a 4-power trampler. Oh yeah, we're mega dead. That was some nasty rabbit stuff here. Very, very nice deck from our opponent. And incredible work from Oak Hollow Village. Trample the smallest one. Oh, we might be slightly in it then. I guess they're playing around removal. They trample the biggest one, and then I presumably shoot it with a removal spell. Yeah, they can't know what's in our hand here. Since we don't have removal, this is actually better for us that they did it this way. And it means we might be barely alive. Of course. I hit the downdraft, but I don't have triple blue to be able to play it immediately. Still good for the future. Probably not good enough. I mean, it's kill a rabbit, get another otter. Oh, I guess I kill the big one right now. Yeah, kill a token, get an otter could be something. We go to 1 life. Alright. The tiniest chance in the universe is still a chance. We're facing 2/2/2s. I can kill one of them with downdraft. They scried to the top. Not a good sign. So I'm going to kill whichever one they give trample. Ooh, baby. Okay. Now we can kill both of them. Five mana up after that? Okay, can't do that and kill both of them. What is your draw? If I ever die, I'm going to make a fish because it's funny. Oh, no. Oh my god, that's good here. That's a 4/3 and a 2/2 and +2/+2 to the board. The Rabbit's deck, like, really, really has hands. It seems like the strongest just upfront power level deck. The other archetypes, frogs and otters, I like them a lot, but they seem like much more like once you get a bunch of cards together, they start going insane. Rabbit's just like you just draw some and just go crazy. Don't need too many other cards together to go absolutely wild. All right, yeah, I have to just downdraft both of these. Technically, I could chump one of them, but it's better to have those to try to kill the new rabbit. Although that'll be difficult because of how high toughness that stuff's going to be. And I don't have the blue to surveil off the village here. Could sack an otter to draw a card, but I'm also 1 mana off from making a treasure to sack to draw a card next turn. I'm not sacking an otter. And that is dead to trample. We are dead to rights here. Unless I Fountain Port top deck perfectly? Well, hold up. No, Fountain Port actually goes crazy. I'm only going to have 4 toughness out, which means I still die to trample if I hit nothing here, but I can recruiter their rabbit and sack their rabbit to our Fountain Port. It's pretty big, but then I need to hit a 3-drop that's a creature or does something about the rabbit. I guess a non-creature makes another otter. Yeah, no. If I hit pretty much any spell that's castable for 3 or less mana, I'm still in the game. But it has to be 3 or less mana. It has to be a spell. Shoot. All right. Take exacties. That would have been so sick. Could you imagine? I mean, literally any spell on the deck. We cast it, we have enough toughness. If it's an instant or sorcery, then boom, it's another creature on board. If it's a creature, then it's literally another creature on board. But we just missed. Disappointing ending on that one. Felt like we were getting so close to clawing our way ahead. Well, clawing our way to stable and then having the resolved level 3 thing can claw to a head. And we've got a lot of cards that function together to take over the game, like Alania. If we manage to stabilize off the talent and then find Alania later. Like, we had a path to victory there if we could hit there on that last turn, but we failed. Very cool, very fun deck. Obviously, we certainly could have drafted a better version of blue-red, and we certainly could have pivoted into many other archetypes. That is stuff that we can learn as we get much more familiar with the format, but had a lot of fun with just the forced blue-red, nice, simple, full spells build. And yeah, it was super sweet. It was a super fun format, and I am very excited to play some more. So let's just hop right back in there. Let's stop dilly-dallying. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching this video. If you're interested in seeing some more, all you got to do is stick around on the channel. You can always like, comment, and subscribe if you want the YouTube algorithm to send you more of these videos in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you want to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.